Have you ever wondered what the real secret to success is? Well, here's the thing. It isn't really a secret at all. It's actually a simple, super powerful principle that governs, well, pretty much everything in your life, for better or for worse. All right, let's get into it. If you came here looking for some kind of overnight success story, I gotta tell you, you're in the wrong place. Darren Hardy, the author of our source material, he says it pretty bluntly. You've been bamboozled. This whole idea that you can just get rich or get fit or famous overnight, it's a complete myth, one that's sold to us by some really clever marketing. So if we just throw out that whole idea, the magic pills, the lottery ticket mindset, what are we left with? What's the real, no-fluff path to actually achieving those huge goals you have? Well, the problem is that our whole culture is kind of suffering from what the book calls a microwave mentality. We want everything, and we want it now, from our food to our careers. And this has totally warped our idea of what it actually takes to earn success. I mean, just think about it for a second. Every single day, you see these ads, right? Lose 30 pounds in 30 days. Make a fortune with 3 simple clicks. All these messages are training us to crave instant rewards, which, of course, makes it almost impossible to stick with any real plan that requires patience and a little bit of effort. And that brings us right to the core of it all, the compound effect. You can think of it like the operating system that's been running your life this whole time, whether you knew it or not. The real trick is learning how to make it work for you instead of against you. So here's the formula, and it's beautifully simple. It's not about these giant, life-altering leaps. Nope. It's all about the small, almost insignificant, smart choices you make every single day. And when you combine those little choices with consistency, and you just give them enough time, the result isn't just a little bit different, it's a radically different outcome. Okay, let's play a little game so you can see this in action. I'm offering you a choice. You can have $3 million in cash right now, or you can have a single penny that doubles in value every single day for 31 days. Now, most people are going to grab the cash, but let's see what happens if you choose that lonely little penny. All right, so 20 days into the month, your penny is now worth just over $5,000. Meanwhile, your friend who took the cash is, living it up with their $3 million. You'd probably feel like you made a massive mistake, wouldn't you? This right here, this is that moment of doubt where the progress is so small it feels invisible. But then the magic really kicks in. In those last 11 days, the growth goes from a crawl to an absolute explosion. On day 31, that single penny has compounded to over $10.7 million. That's more than 3 times the cash. That is the jaw-dropping power of small, consistent actions over time. Okay, let's see how this plays out with real people. So imagine 3 buddies. You've got Larry, who just kind of coasts, does nothing different. Then there's Scott. He makes tiny, positive changes, reads 10 pages of a good book a day, and cuts just 125 calories. That's like half a can of soda. And then you have Brad, who makes tiny, poor choices. He watches a little more TV, adds 125 calories, like a handful of chips. For months, nothing looks different. But fast forward 31 months, and Scott is 33 pounds lighter and just got a promotion. Brad? He's gained 33 pounds and is deeply unhappy. Their lives went in wildly different directions because of daily choices so small they were almost unnoticeable at the time. So how do we actually get this incredible force working for us in our own lives? Well, it all starts with taking absolute control of the one thing that steers everything else. Everything in your life, your health, your career, your relationships, it all exists because you first made a choice that led you here. So step 1 is taking 100% responsibility. No more blaming the traffic or your boss or the economy. The moment you own your choices, you own your outcomes. That's when you get your power back. So the path to making this stuff last follows this simple progression. It always starts with one conscious choice. Then you repeat that choice until it becomes a behavior. You keep repeating that behavior consistently until, poof, it becomes an automatic, unconscious habit, just like brushing your teeth. You don't even think about it anymore. That's when the real change is locked in for good. But here's a catch we all run into. Willpower is not enough. It's like a battery on your phone. It just drains way too fast. The real engine for change is what our source material calls why power. This is your deep, emotional, personal reason for wanting to change in the first place. It's not a battery, it's a bottomless well of motivation. When your why is big enough, the how becomes easy. Think about it. Would you walk a narrow wooden plank between two skyscrapers for $20? No way, right? But what if your child was on the other side, in danger? You'd be over there in a heartbeat. The how, walking the plank, didn't change, but your why did. So you have to ask yourself, what is your ultimate motivation? What's your why? All right, so once you've got your positive habits going and you're all fueled up by your why, it is time to hit the gas pedal. This is where you go from just making progress to becoming totally unstoppable. So let me introduce you to your new best friend, Big Mo, as in momentum. The best way to think about it is like one of those heavy, old-fashioned water pumps. At first, you have to pump that handle like crazy, up and down, and it feels like you're doing a ton of work for absolutely nothing. So you're at that pump. You pump, and for what feels like forever, nothing happens. It's frustrating. Then, finally, you see a few pathetic little drops squeeze out. Now, this is the critical moment. This is where most people quit, thinking it's not worth the effort. But if you just keep going, a real trickle starts and then a steady flow emerges. And suddenly, the pumping is easy. Momentum is taken over, all because your consistency pushed you past those first few miserable drops. Now, no matter what you're doing, you are eventually going to hit the wall. You'll feel tired, you'll feel discouraged, and your brain will be screaming at you to just stop. You have to know this. That wall is not a signal to quit. It's a sign that you are on the verge of a massive breakthrough. It's an opportunity. The book uses this really powerful quote. It's in those moments of truth, when everybody else is feeling the pain and is ready to throw in the towel, that is where you get your edge. Pushing past that wall is where all the growth happens. It's where you leave your old self and all the competition in the dust. And finally, if you really want to pour gasoline on your results, don't just meet expectations, completely shatter them. I mean, think about when Oprah gave away cars to her entire audience. She did way more than anyone expected. That wow factor doesn't just add to your results, it multiplies them. In every area of your life, just look for one small way to do a little extra, to deliver a little more. So here we are, right back where we started, with a single choice. The next 5 years of your life are going to be the sum total of the choices you start making today. And they don't have to be massive. In fact, it's so much better if they're small. So the only question left is, what's your first one going to be?